Welcome to the WHHI-TV Daily News. It's another beautiful day in the Lowcountry. I'm Betsy McDaniel, and here are today's headlines. We saw very little of Randy Murdoch during the trial, but now that it is over, he is trying to put his family's name and reputation back together. Randy still practices law in the same firm his brother Alec used to, but he told the New York Times he's taking extra steps to make sure people don't confuse his legal practice with his brother's. He did not testify in the murder trial and says he hasn't spoken to his brother in almost a year. He also said he still doesn't know if Alec is the real killer, though he says he finds it impossible to picture Alec as a violent murderer. But he thinks Alec still knows more than what he is saying. He and the rest of the Murdoch family will now focus on helping nephew Buster. The Beaufort County Sheriff's Office is calling the two deaths in Sun City last week a murder-suicide. The daughter of the victims hadn't heard from them one day last week, so she called neighbors, who went into the home and found 71-year-old Robert Carvello and his 69-year-old wife Marcelo. Deputies say Marcelo had 3 gunshot wounds and her husband 1 self-inflicted wound. A gun was found with the bodies. There was apparently no note left behind, but court records show the couple had a history of financial issues. The 2 surviving members of the group of 4 from Lake City, South Carolina, who were kidnapped in Mexico, are now receiving medical attention in a Texas hospital. The 4 had driven to Brownsville, Texas, and then crossed the border for an elective medical procedure. But that part of Mexico is considered extremely dangerous. Shaheed Woodard and Zindell Brown were killed. Latavia McGee, who was the individual who was going to have the surgery, and Eric Williams survived, though Williams did take a non-life-threatening gunshot wound to the leg. The state legislature might keep the starting pay for state police officers slightly higher than that of starting teachers if the House Ways and Means Committee budget gets through to the governor's desk. In an effort to compete with the private sector and other states, Class 1 law enforcement officers would be paid $50,000 a year, with corrections officers beginning at $41,000. SLED officers could start at $58,000, along with other officers who have arrest powers. Current officers are in line for a 2% pay raise in the budget. Nobody is sure why, but South Carolinians were victims of fraud more often per capita than people in all but 6 other states last year, according to the Federal Trade Commission. There were over 57,000 fraud reports, costing our neighbors over $75 million. The most common scam was identity theft, with credit card scams second. Adults under 30 reported the most fraud scams, though adults over 70 lost more money when defrauded. The number 1 state for fraud? Look next door to Georgia. And one of the 2 most iconic brand ambassadors for a product is coming to Bluffton Thursday and Hilton Head Friday. Next to the Clydesdales, the Oscar Mayer Wienermobile is about as classic as it gets. The 27-foot-long hot dog on wheels will be at the Kroger at the Bluffton Town Center from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. and at the Kroger in Shelter Cove on Hilton Head Friday from 11 until 5. Let's just hope it doesn't get caught in traffic on one of the bridges to the island. The media sources on your screen will have more on these and other stories, and we would love for you to like us on Facebook and follow us on Instagram at WHHI-TV. And if you have an idea for a news story, we'd love to hear it, so drop us a line at news@WHHITV.com. And now here's Justin Jarrett with what happened last night in the Lowco.
Hey, it's time for Last Night in the Lowco on WHHI, powered by LowcoSports.com. It was another busy spring night as the Bluffton Bobcats hosted former coach Josh Fox and the John Paul II Golden Warriors. JP2's Brennan McDermott scored first, and Anthony Hill gave the Warriors a 2-1 lead in the second half, but Dorian Funes scored twice, and Ryan Orford added a goal to lift the Bobcats to a hard-fought 3-2 win. Over in the tank, Lowco FC podcast co-host Misael Garzon and the Sharks took on Misa's mentor Terry Rollins and the Beaufort Eagles. May River was in command in the first half, taking a 3-0 lead into the break on a pair of goals from Alonzo Pena and a Beaufort own goal, but the Eagles cut it to 3-2 in the second half before freshman Carter Lawson scored his first career goal to give the Sharks some cushion in the 75th minute. May River gave it right back on an own goal before holding on for a 4-3 win. In other soccer scores, Battery Creek's girls improved to 7-0 with a 2-0 win over New Hampstead, 2 more goals for Sophia Felix, and Ashton Morgan scored a brace in a 6-0 win for the Dolphin boys. May River boys lacrosse stayed unbeaten with a 14-3 win at Phillips Simmons, while Hilton Head Prep boys tennis started with a 5-1 win over Bluffton, and Beaufort's boys golf team shot 164 to win a 5-team meet at Eagles Point. Bluffton's Jones Sailor shot even par 36 for low medalist honors. For Loco Sports and WHHI, I'm Justin Jarrett. Until next time, go Loco.
Thanks, Justin. And now we're going to hand it over to Maria for a look at our weather.
Thanks, Betsy. Yep, so taking a look ahead, it does look like we see a bunch of scattered showers throughout the rest of the week. Taking a look at Thursday, it's going to be cloudy throughout the day, then we will see a passing storm throughout the evening. Hilton is going to have a high of 62, a low of 53. Bluffton is going to have a high of 63, a low of 50. And Beaufort is going to have a high of 64 and a low of 50. The sunrise for Thursday is going to be at 6:41 and sunset's going to be at 6:26. Taking a look at the beach tides, high tide is going to be at 10:19 a.m. and low tide is going to be at 5:53 p.m. Taking a look into the rest of the week and into the weekend, Friday we'll see scattered showers throughout the day, which should be clearing up by the evening. Highs are going to be in the 60s, lows in the 50s. Come Saturday, it's going to be partly cloudy throughout the day with highs in the 60s and lows in the 50s. And then come Sunday, it's going to be cloudy with scattered showers throughout the afternoon. And then come in the evening, the rain is going to get a little heavier and we may see some thunderstorms later in the evening. The highs are going to be in the 60s and lows in the 50s. That's it for today. Let's head it back to the desk.
Thanks, Maria, and we'll be back in just a moment with a chat with the Beaufort County School District. Don't go away.